Hey there, welcome back to video 48. Let's finish up on the actual handlebars today. So let's dive right in. First, we're going to bring up the gizmo, look for the gear and choose Cylinder 3D. Now let's unmask the bottom section and pull it downwards. We need to scale it in a little bit. By pressing Ctrl and moving the gizmo, you can extrude the shape. Let's adjust the size to match our reference. Unmask the top part next, followed by a quick extrusion, and scale it down with the gizmo. Now we can clear our mask and add in some edge loops with Insert, Single Edge Loop. Next up, we're going to bevel those edge loops and Q-mesh the poly loops. If you want to repeat your last Z-modeler action, simply click to repeat. Press QC50. Crease the edge loop. Then go ahead and select Insert Multiple Edge Loops with Interactive Elevation. We're going to set the crease level to 2 and add in some more edge loops to quad it up. Reset the creasing by pressing QC50 again. Press Ctrl W to group visible. Let's isolate those caps and press Auto Groups. Now choose the 14 sides IMM. If there are any extra edge loops, delete them. Group the visible parts with Ctrl W and give the edge loop a crease. Select Insert Multiple Edge Loops with Interactive Elevation again. Let's uncrease the edge loops. Mask your model. Now it's time to turn on symmetry in the Z-axis and set the radial count to 12. Once more, bring up the gizmo, hit the gear, and select Polycube. Adjust the scale slightly smaller. Invert the mask and split unmasked points. Let's press QC50. Then we can scale it on the X-axis and on the Z-axis. Unmask the top and nudge it in a bit. Invert the mask and move it in the opposite direction. Then let's lower the subtool and choose the subtractive icon. Go ahead and activate the live Boolean feature. We can also add a couple of supporting loops for good measure. We'll do some minor depth adjustments next. Select the handlebar subtool and set the radial count to 4. Mask your model, bring up the gizmo again, and from the gear, select Polycube. Hit QC50 and move them closer to the center. Adjust the scale on the X-axis and on the Z-axis. Unmask the top and adjust the scale on the x-axis. Unmask the bottom and shift it slightly. Move it down as well and continue to match them to the reference. Invert the mask and place them in the right position. Insert an edge loop right in the middle. Unmask the edge loop and move them using the gizmo. Lower the subtool and activate the subtractive icon. Then we can add a support loop on the top and bottom. Unmask the middle edge loop and push it out slightly. Unmask the top and pull it in. Let's adjust the bottom as well. Give it a little rotation to help with alignment. We can repeat this for the top as well. Finally, uncrease the middle edge loop. Bring up the gizmo again, and this time from the gear, we're selecting Cylinder 3D. Let's unmask the top and pull it downwards. Control and move with the gizmo for another quick extrusion. Maybe scale it down a bit for good measure. Next up, let's isolate the caps and hit auto groups. Now grab the 14 sides IMM. Let's use the ZBrush to get rid of some of those extra edge loops. Now we can select Slide Edge Loop Complete next. Q-mesh the polygroup island. Then we can scale that polygroup island. Once you've unmasked the polygroup, go ahead and run a polish by features. We're going to inset the flat island next. After that, unmask the polygroup and run another polish by features. Then we can Q-mesh the polygroup island downwards. Press QC50 and give the edge loop a crease. Now let's toss in a couple of edge loops to quad it up. Then we're going to uncrease the top edge loops. We'll set the crease level to 3 this time and uncrease any remaining edge loops. To control the fall off, we're going to add some control loops. Press Ctrl W to group visible. Slide the edge loops on the outside to evenly distribute the space.